from Rogers. I moved to Rogers in 1976.
Okay.
And y'all gonna have to excuse my voice. I've just finished my chemo treatments, and the chemo has affected my voice, and it just infuriates me. Yeah. Got rid of everything else, but it wasn't supposed to bother my voice. Yeah. Hope it comes back. But I love this building. I absolutely. The highlight of my teaching career is right here when I can bring classes out here. And you know, I can meet children in Dillard's or Walmart, and they'll still remember this is what we did. Met some yesterday, and you know, they still remember. And some of them, it's funny, the thing they remember most that was the most fun was using the outdoor bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was such a big thing for
I
them.
really think that
Yeah,
was
that
back in
was-
the wagon days. Yeah.
Well, I know the ladies and the men's bathrooms that they have. Do you know how you tell from here which one was which? The ladies had a little cage on the outside the door. They closed before you couldn't see into it.
Yeah.
The guys,
Didn't make any
they weren't interested where you saw or not. That's the way you told which one was the ladies and which one was the ladies.
I don't think I knew that.
And if you look up one of these bathrooms, they've got part of an old wall.
Yeah.
That's similar. But that's what that's
I
about.
know the last time I came out that the museum was doing anything with it, they had put porta potties right outside this wall. And
Yeah.
it just infuriated me.
Wrong place.
That wasn't supposed to be there.
We used to have them down there on the drive coming in
Yeah.
a couple times.
The bus drivers, when we would bring students out here, they'd get a little bit ticked off at me too, because I'm going to pull up here and let the students out. And then I'd say, okay, you guys need to go down and park in the Baptist Church parking lot, because in 1901, we didn't have school buses that dropped the kids off here. And they just couldn't understand why I'd say, you know, I'd be so mean. But they just didn't stay up here.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little church up on the mountain called Lance Chapel. And that little building just down the hill from it was my grandfather's house. And we moved, Dad went into World War II, he moved us all over to live with them. As soon as they had got a chicken crop out of the house, he had 4 bedrooms and they raised chickens back in one commercially.
How about that?
But anyway, that was way back in the mid-40s.
Now, you went to school in this building.
Yes, ma'am.
So did
And you went to school in this building. Wow.
We started here, it was, I was trying to think, I think in 43, probably 42 or 43. We had moved back from California and come back to Arkansas. And over at the top of the hill where you look out over the lake to the north, my grandfather owned a good part of that. And there's another little school called Willow Branch. And we went there a year before we crossed the river and started coming to Rocky Mountain.
Wow.
And
How
so
neat.
Yeah.
it was set up, you know, very similar. You had a word of prayer. You said Pledge of Allegiance, and you. I mean, they believe that I am the way, the truth, and the life, and that was part of life. And you just lived that way.
We were so much better off.
Yeah, it
Oh,
really
my
was in a
goodness.
lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ways. It was an interesting kind of life because it's so foreign.
Yeah.
I tell my grandchildren about things, and it's just, you know, they're really, really, you know.
I always let the children, we'd go out when we got ready to get on the buses. I'd let them ring the bell. That was always, you know, such a big thing with them.
Yeah.
And they'd each one get to ring the bell on it, you know, as they got ready to get on the bus. That was always such a big thing with them. And I'd always, they'd write a letter. They'd send every one of them would send me a letter and tell me what their favorite thing was that they did. And it was all, I've still got all those letters. I just can't get rid of them. It's a lot of interesting things.
But they thought ringing that bell was
that
important.
was very important to me.
You ought to think about putting that in a book.
Yeah, I need to do
Publish it.
that.
Judith, are you on Facebook?
I am.
Look for the Friends of Rocky Branch School.
No, I'm not on that, but I'll have to get on
Well,
it.
get on it
Yeah,
because
I
if
will.
you can take pictures of some of those letters and post
I will
them,
do that.
we can, have them there for history.
I will do that.
Yeah,
So-
good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll have to look through my.
Oh, I'm
just
gonna,
my-
yeah, I'm gonna do that here in a little bit.
My memories.
Hey, Bob, I've got a question for you.
Sorry.
You're going to school, it's winter time. And you got this stove over here that's warming this. How'd you do that?
Start school because it was 1st of September. You didn't start school, and you started as soon as the farm work ended, which was in September, probably no October, November. And you went to school, so it was berry picking time. When strawberries got ripe, that was in school. So you went to school 4 to 5, 6 months out of the year.
Wow.
And the teacher had a full authority. You know, if he decided your life was going to end, you'd probably start marking the calendar. It wasn't really that bad, but it was a totally different society.
So so you started like you would start in what, July, August, and you go till the
No,
strawberries
we
were
didn't go
ripe?
to school. I mean, we was making hay and
Okay.
doing what we went to school from about October till early part of May.
I was gonna say.
And we had teachers. We had one teacher that drove out from Rogers when Rogers was 16 miles of an old dirt road.
Yeah.
Because not everybody could be a teacher. There was a fellow lived out in this area called Horace Knox. He was a preacher and a teacher,
Okay.
and fairly well educated. But I remember one year having a teacher. He was 18 years old. He went over to Huntsville, took a test, got his teacher's license, and went teaching school.
Yeah.
So it was just a totally different kind of thing.
Well, you talking about Robert Neely.
Huh?
You're talking
Robert
about
Neely.
Robert Neely.
Yeah. He taught at Northside. When my daughter started teaching at Northside, he was still teaching at Northside.
Right. Yeah, from here,
Yeah.
there he went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One over in eastern Arkansas that my dad was a preacher, and I lived in Piggott for a while. And they would start, and then when the cotton was ready to pick,
Right.
school was out. You know, I thought that was wonderful. I had a vacation. I didn't pick cotton, but I had a vacation. That was pretty neat.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of the school terms were regulated by the crops.
Crops, yeah.
And the everyday life, what is, you spend most of the summertime maybe raising green or string beans and tomatoes.
Right.
Or spring you got strawberries.
Right.
In the fall you got, butchering starts.
Right.
So you had to.
It was an agriculture
It
society.
really was.
Yeah.
But it was, everything was ruled by just a sense of code of honor.
Yeah.
I mean, you never promised you was going to sell some guy a half a beef, and then whatever happened, it was still his beef all the time.
Well, tell me how you all sit in the school. Were the older ones back here? Were the girls on one side, the boys on one side?
No, not really. Generally, get to school and figure out what girl. Back then, when you had a girlfriend, you claimed her. You was like, she's mine, could I stake her out? but it was just a boy-girl thing, and you sit. But the girls and the guys did sit intermixed.
Okay.
And
I always separated them when I came in. I thought that was the way it was. that the
Well, in
boys sat one
1904 or 5, it probably was, but in the mid 1940s, they were getting kind of.
spot. Yeah, I guess it got a little looser, didn't it?
well,
Well, 1979, I went back to 1902 or whatever it was.
when you started school in the first grade, generally your first graders sat along the front.
Yeah.
The small
And then the second
kids.
graders sat
And it
behind
just
them,
kind of
and the
progressed.
third
The
graders.
big ones, like we're saying, they went to the bigger kids.
Right.
So there was a mixture, like he said, your size.
Yeah.
Now, are you his daughter?
She's all.
Okay.
He's my.
She's
They're
a teacher.
brother- They're brothers and sisters.
My brother.
You teaching Rogers?
No, I teach in Brooktown, which is right outside
Oh,
Tulsa. I
okay.
teach kindergarten.
Bless you. I've got a granddaughter that teaches kindergarten. You all are special. That's all I can say about
She
you.
loves it. She loves it.
Yeah, my granddaughter
Being
does
a
too.
preacher, you gotta have a special calling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the preachers that have daughters, the poor daughters just get lumped in there. They don't want to be there, but they, believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Word of experience.
Yeah, experience. I still wonder how I survived that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just tough back in those days in a good way. You had to walk through the storm, you walked through it.
Yeah, it's what you do. Makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's winter time, and you've got this little stove.
You got paid a dime if you, I was one of the older boys. One year, I paid 10 cents to go to school, get there earlier and build a fire.
Wow.
10 cents, that's 10 cents a week, you know.
Did
Yeah.
they fight over who could sit closest to the stove?
We sat in benches.
Around it?
The long
Yeah,
benches.
On cold days you could.
Yeah,
sit-
when he's talking about snow
Yeah.
or winter or rain, or, because we had to walk to school.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was wet when we got here. And I only remember Robert Neely. You know, he had more teachers. And he had it where we sat, the long benches. He had a long bench that faced the desk, and he would call each grade up there. But when we first got here, he had the fire going, and we sat. It was kind of a square. We sat around the stove, and if it was really cold or something, he would kind of put the first grade in one group and kept us around the stove. But once it got going good, it was warm in here. The wood stove, I remember it.
I never started the fires at Rocky Ranch. I did at Shady Grove because we
Yeah.
lived, you know, about a half a mile, so I could go up and take a break and start a fire and go back to the house and get ready for school. I never started a fire at Rocky Ranch.
Okay.
That's it.
Did Opal Beck teach at Shady Grove? Opal Beck? Was that name?
It was,
No,
it
it's
was
for
a
me.
copy of
No.
the school. It was a different community.
Remember who the
Well-
teacher, who taught at Shady Grove?
I'm sorry.
Who taught at Shady Grove? Did Opal Beck teach at one of those? Did she teach there?
I can remember one teacher, his name was Armstrong.
Okay.
He came
And
in
I
from
even
Orange.
remember Robert Neely
Taught
teaching
too.
over a year or two.
Okay.
Mr. Armstrong, he was the gentleman that drove out from town and taught school.
He was there when Mother and Dad got married,
Yeah.
and we moved in February over there to see. Wasn't that a woman that was teaching there then?
Yeah, Bonnie Hardy's mother, and Bonnie was at the reunion yesterday, but her mother, not her aunt,
Was the one that
and she was a lovely woman. But if we all decided we was going to go squirrel hunting in the afternoon, we just went squirrel hunting. she just never. She was easy on, too easy on us, you know. Some of the farmers would wonder why are you kids out running around over my farm in the middle of the afternoon when you're supposed to be at school.
was she living with the family that the house burnt down? Remember?
Yeah, she did.
She's the one that, and her name was
Let's see.
Hardy. Was her last name?
The old farmhouse was owned by a family named Murphy,
Right.
and she stayed there with the Murphys.
And we were at school
And they
one
did
day,
burn her house down.
and we saw the smoke coming
Oh
out.
my goodness.
So she dismissed us, and we all trailed over there to the fire, because that's where she lived, and lost everything she had in there.
I was looking at pictures from when I first started coming out here, and I think the school was red at the time.
It was.
One
Yeah.
time, yeah.
Was it red when you went to school here?
I don't remember it being red.
It was white.
I think Shady Grove was red, but I think Rocky Ranch was always white. I mean,
Well,
best time I remember.
It
I
was
could
red
be
at one
wrong.
point.
Yeah, but that was after school. I don't think it was ever red when the students were really going to school here. I think it was later, like during the time when they were selling lots.
I wouldn't bet my best saddle horse on it, but I think it was white. But Shady Grove may have been kind of a red building.
Okay.
If you ever saw the old show, Little House on the Prairie, this was a spitting image of what that was portrayed as.
This could have been right in that show. Well, it's just a perfect little building, in my opinion.
We like it.
Stood
I just
alone.
always loved to come out here. It was just,
We had before the little church of Land Chapel, there was a little school building that's like this, of the Garfield.
uh-huh.
And Dad had come out of the Seabees in Davis, so he was a fairly middling carpenter. And we took the old building apart, put it on car in an old green truck, and brought it piece by piece back up to that hill, and then nailed it all back together.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
my goodness.
And now they've built around it. It's a nice modern looking place, but it started out with just about like this. It was an old schoolhouse.
Okay, I'm gonna